911. You need to ambulance.
Please forgive me. I'm sorry.
Hello? Hello?
Please don't put that song in her. I promise you, whatever you want, I will.
Good day, my beautiful people. I'm the Mysterious Black Bandit. Welcome or welcome back to the soon-to-be #1 True Crimes channel on YouTube. For those of you that have been supporting and commenting on my videos, thank you so much. Y'all have no idea how much this helps me and this channel out, so keep on doing what you do. I truly appreciate it. My goal is to reach 20K by the end of March, and the only way to do this is with your help. So if you're new and YouTube suggested my content to you, go ahead and drop your boy a comment and let me know where you're from. And if you enjoy this content, go ahead and share it with your family and friends. All right, my beautiful people, before we get this video started, you already know what to do. Hit that like, subscribe, and turn on all those notifications for your boy. Now, without further ado, let's get to this video. 42-year-old Christy Sheats lived with her husband Jason and her two daughters Taylor and Madison Sheats in a suburban neighborhood in Katy, Texas. Christy and Jason initially met and fell in love with each other in Alabama, where she used to attend Austin High School in Decatur, Alabama from 1989 to 1991, and Jason used to attend East Lawrence High School in Trinity, Alabama. That was like 15 minutes away. As of 2016, they had been married for over 20 years. They first moved in 2002 when Jason decided that it was time for a change of scenery, and he and his family picked up and moved to a beautiful home on 6000 Ramsey Hollow Lane in Katy, Texas to start their new life. In 2016, their 22-year-old daughter Taylor had been engaged for about 4 years to one Sebastian, who was her high school sweetheart and was set to marry on June 27th of that same year. Taylor had just graduated with honors from Lone Star College in Cypress, Texas in 2015 and was back home working a full-time job as a teacher at Kids Are Kids, which is a daycare center and pre-K school. Then the evenings once she left there, she went and worked as a nanny. Her friends and colleagues stated that she was a wonderful person that would do anything to help and was very passionate about two things: kids and drawing. Now their 17-year-old daughter Madison was going into her senior year at Seven Lakes High School. She too was just like her older sister who enjoyed being around kids, so she would also babysit part-time after school and also dog sat for her neighbors whenever they needed her to. Everyone that knew her said that she was such a joy to be around because she was always smiling and had a great sense of humor. Now at this time, Jason worked at a place called Ox or OXY, which was a local oil and gas company in Houston, Texas, and he worked as an IT consultant, but that wasn't all he did. This man worked his tail off for his wife and kids, even picking up another job tutoring to make sure that his family never wanted for anything. Now around the neighborhood, people would always see Jason out enjoying time with his girl, and if they seen you outside, you best believe they were going to wave or speak. But Christy, on the other hand, wasn't your typical social butterfly. Although Christy came off as this very loving and caring mother that lived and would do anything for her two daughters on social media, her neighbors said that she was a very introverted and nonchalant person. Anytime you would see her outside, she would briefly wave without looking at you, and whenever they would have these neighborhood events, she would never participate. Now Christy was known and identified as a conservative Republican who was very vocal about her Second Amendment. Some of her old friends stated that she used to be a very loving and outgoing person, but the change seemed to come after her grandfather passed away in 2012. Now when she was coming up in Alabama, her grandfather had a huge impact on her life after he practically raised her as his own child. So she kind of felt guilty because when he got sick, she was not able to be there for him like she wanted to since she lived all the way in Texas. It was stated she had a very hard time dealing with his death and she was in so much pain she couldn't stop crying. Then just a couple months later, her mother passed away. All these sequence of events caused her to become very depressed and changed her into a totally different person. At first, she was put on these antidepressants, but soon afterward, she started to drink very heavily on top of the medication just to try to ease her pain, but this didn't do nothing but hurt her relationship with her family. Within the next 4 years of her grandfather passing, the sheriff department had to be called to her home 14 times and 3 times for her trying to harm herself. Now, each of those times, Christy was transported to a mental health facility where she would have to stay and be treated for a few days. Her husband said that every time it was just a cycle. She would attempt to harm herself, get put in a mental health facility until she said everything was all right. Then they would let her out and the cycle would repeat itself. As time went on, their marriage would seem to get better, but within a split second, everything would crumble. They would get into these huge arguments and fight constantly. Then they would separate for a while, make up, then the pattern would start all over again. The people that knew about their relationship stated that Jason would do everything he could to keep them from getting a divorce so they could try to keep the family together. He stated that over time, Christy's self-esteem had gotten so low, she had started to become very bitter towards him and the girl. There were times when she would try on the youngest daughter's clothes and make references to her size just to try to hurt her feelings. Now, although the girls loved their mother very much, after dealing with everything she put them through, that mother-daughter relationship started to diminish. By June of 2016, Christy was taking multiple medications and was seeing a therapist once a month for her mental health. But apparently, it wasn't working too good. Every other day, she was starting fights with Taylor about her upcoming wedding to her fiance, one Sebastian, that was set to happen on June 27th. Now, June 24th, 2016 was Jason's 45th birthday. And from the start of that day, Christy had been arguing and fighting with Jason, Madison, and Taylor. Now, Jason would usually just deal with it and let everything go, but this time was the last straw. He could no longer put up with her mess and told her that this is the last time you're going to ruin my birthday, then asked for a divorce. Now, as the day went on, things seemed to calm down a little bit, but Christy started up again arguing with Taylor about her marriage, telling her that she didn't need to get married to this guy, but Taylor's mind was set. Christy felt that since she wouldn't listen to her, she would definitely listen to her father. So she tells Jason he needed to ground her from seeing her fiance. Now, this was just a few days before Taylor was supposed to get married, and on top of that, she was 22 years old. So Jason quickly declined and left it at that. All day, tension amongst the family had been brewing, but after that disagreement, Christy was pissed off. Around 5 p.m., Christy calmly walks into the living room and sits on the couch, then yells for everyone to come in there so they could have a family meeting. No one was expecting for anything drastic to happen. In fact, Jason thought that the reason she wanted to have this meeting was to discuss their divorce with the children, so he didn't think anything of it. As they all came and sat down, Christy instantly starts yelling and demanding an apology from Jason for trying to divorce her and ruin her life. But Jason was like, for what? You see everything you're putting this family through? I am not apologizing for nothing. This infuriated Christy. She reached between those couch pillows where she had placed that 38 caliber 5-shot gun her grandfather gave her and pulled it on the whole family. At first, she was just standing there holding it in the air, not pointing at anyone, but within a split second, her personality totally changed. She started screaming and crying as they just sat there frozen in terror. Jason pleaded with her not to shoot them, but Christy wasn't listening. Jason then tells her, please shoot yourself. Make it easier on us and just shoot yourself. But Christy responded and said, no, that is not what this is about. This is about punishing you. He tried again to bargain with Christy and promised that he would do whatever she wanted him to do, but Christy was out of her mind by this time and replied, no, stop talking, it's too late. She then turns and shoots the youngest daughter, Madison, in the neck, then shoots Taylor once in the back. Scared out of his mind, Jason frantically runs around the couch and grabs his girls to help them out the house. But as soon as they made it through the front door, Christy let off 3 more shots, but fortunately, she misses and hits the wall. Now, Madison, who had been shot in the neck, manages to make it out to the street, but with the loss of so much blood, her body gave out. Christy, who was running behind them at this point, catches up to Taylor after she collapsed on the curb, stands over her, and shoots her again. She tries to shoot her another time, but the gun was out of bullets, so she ran to the house to reload it. At this point, Jason had ran to the end of the road to a neighbor's house and begged them to call the police. Right before the police arrived, Christy had reloaded her gun and headed back out to where Taylor was and shot her yet again. By this time, the police were commanding her to drop her weapon, but Christy wanted to make sure Madison was dead, so she started to walk towards her. The police yelled and yelled for her to drop her weapon, but at this time, Christy didn't care about nothing. So the police did exactly what they were supposed to do and shot her one time, hitting her in the chest, killing her instantly. Once the paramedics arrived, Madison Sheats was pronounced dead at the scene, and Taylor was air flighted to a Houston hospital where she later passed away. Now, although Jason wasn't physically injured, the shock of seeing both his daughters being shot and killed by their very own mother had him devastated. So they took him to the hospital for evaluation. This tragic event had all their friends and family at a loss for words. One person stated that he always knew something was going to happen, but he never would have thought Christy would do something like this. Jason stated that Christy knew how much those girls meant to him, and she had several opportunities to shoot rescued him while he was in the home, but she chose not to. By letting him live and taking those girls away, she wanted to make sure he suffered. After doing an interview with Dr. Oz in 2020, he stated that no matter what he does, where he runs, or what he does to occupy his time, he will never be able to get those thoughts out of his head. He said that the only thing that has helped him cope with the tragedy was him dedicating his life to Jesus. And that will bring this video to an end, my good people. Listen up. I know y'all have heard this before, but mental health is a real thing. And it definitely can hurt you or cause you to hurt someone else. So if you're dealing with any kind of mental issue, no matter if it's large or small, please make sure you seek help. True enough, some of these places are charging an arm and leg, but there are some places that will work with. All right, I really don't have much else to say, but if no one has told you this today, let me be the first. I love you. I really hope you all have had a wonderful day. Don't forget to leave me a comment or two down at the bottom, and go ahead and hit that like and subscribe for your boy. Y'all make sure you remember to live and let live, and until next time, stay mysterious, my friends.